A very warm welcome to all our audiences. Welcome to our first speak session. जैसा कि मैंने कहा कि इस सेशन में we'll have our emerging scholars, early track academics and first time researchers presenting their original research projects which they have worked very hard in बहुत मेहनत की है और I'm very excited to listen to them, and without taking any of their time, uh, I'll hand over the session to Dr. Ajay Kohli, who will be moderating this session. Thank you, Dr. Ajay, for kindly agreeing to this. And over to you now, and please take over the session.
Thank you, Ravikant, and Jai Bhim to everyone. So from morning, we are having fantastic session back to back, and I'm sure your energy is very high, and we will continue with the same energy for this session as well. And as a moderator of this session, I have the responsibility to help the 5 early to complete their presentation, right? And in the order as it mentioned in the poster. So first we'll start with the Shadab, then Vaishnavi, then Priti, then Kundan, and then Uddhav. Okay. So each one of you will have like total 10 to 12 minutes, right? And you can use the first 1 or 2 minutes to introduce yourself. What are your interest research areas? Where are you? What are you doing right now? Like, and from where you are joining this session, right? And then you can start your presentation. And once all of you finish your presentation, we can take up the questions from the audience, and as well as in case you have questions for each other also, I think they are welcome, right? So I think this format, okay, any other information anyone of you are looking for? Okay, am I audible? Okay, and please strictly look at your mute option if you are not presenting. So please, mute. Okay, somebody tell me how to unmute. Okay, Priti Chandra, there is an option next to your video. You have to click on that, mute and unmute. Okay, and I got my voice is breaking. So, okay, all others can hear me because I got one person saying I'm not able. Others can hear me. You can just say yes, so I can say yeah. Okay, right. Yeah, thank you. So, right. So please watch. If you are not speaking, you are not a presenter. So make sure that you're mute, and you can keep the video off also if you want to. It's okay. But you are presenting, then you should keep the videos on, right? So if no other query, then yes, I would be very happy to start with Shadab. So yeah, Shadab, please.
Thank you. Is my voice coming okay? Let me just share my screen. So it is actually disabled. I cannot share my. Hi, I am Shadab. I am currently doing my PhD in the Department of Social Work, Delhi University. Basically, I am from a coastal village in Kerala, and my topic is basically about the social mobility of coastal Muslims. This topic, a note on fish tench, is my working paper. I want to thank for providing this space to share my paper. Actually, I'm quite anxious about my presentation, but thank you. So let me just begin. Okay.
Shadab, your screen is not visible yet. If you have shared the presentation, it is not yet visible. Okay, can others see it? Because I can't see it.
No, it's not visible. The screen sharing is not visible.
Yeah. Yes, now it is working. Yeah. Okay, your audio is off, Shadab. Yeah, please click now.
basically there are 4 social groups in Kerala among the Muslims, such as Tangal, Mapla, Osan, and Puslan. These coastal Muslims are known as Puslan community. In a sense, the meaning of the word is new convert. In a sense, it provides the impression that they are not fully Muslim or they are not the practicing Muslim in a proper way. Even though other untouchable converted to Islam largely, they could themselves integrate with the Mapla Muslims, but the coastal Muslims still bear the burden of inferior social status. There are so many researchers about describing the social distancing between the inland Muslims and coastal Muslims. Then some of them are argued that the possible reasons for the fishing as a continuation of occupation and geographical demarcation. So this one, Saidalvi argues that the Mapla Muslim rationalized the discriminatory practices based on the Islamic concept of purity, knowledge, morality, and piety. And the inland people usually rationalize or justify that the coastal Muslim miss their prayers on time, or they do not cover the female do not cover their head properly, or they're speaking in a high, loud voice and in un-Islamic ways. So it is the central concern of this paper is that if you look at the literature on the social distancing and discriminatory practices between coastal Muslim and inland Muslims, the concept of smell, how the smell contribute to the social distancing and what are the role smell plays is completely, in a sense, absence. The word stench means this, it is a more derogatory than smell. It sends the meaning that this fish have a very, very bad smell. So in this paper, researchers tried to unfold the role of fish stench in maintaining the social distancing. So the literature has been in the consensus that it is not the actual smell, but it is actually the ascribed smell that is people are saying about, and it is based on this ascribed smell. There, the criteria of inclusion or exclusion is based on the smell of ascribed smell. It is not the real one. So the literature also says that the smell is a body marker, and it is also closely associated with the class, race, and nationality. So regarding one of the Malayalam authors says that he problematizes the term fish stench and vegetable smell, the power that involved in these words, and he unfolds the embedded caste logic in this term. He says that the term fish stench presupposes this terms presupposes the clean vegetarian food and dirty and stingy non-veg. After the release of the movie Parasite, especially, then the discussion on smell further kindled, and Libin Ram argues that there is a historical exclusion of academic writing on smell, especially in India. And he specifically mentioned about this fish stench, and he says that the narrative of smell consider the subaltern body as inferior. My writing is largely based on the qualitative data researcher conducted fieldwork in both inland people and coastal area. See, there are so many stories. This narration of clean inland people and very dirty coastal people it is perpetuated with so many stories. One of the familiar story among every inland people is that one day an inland girl was married to a fisherman. At her husband's home, she was exasperated with fish and she could not bear it. After a couple of weeks passed by, then she said, when I reached here, the fish stench is gone. I made the fish stench vanish from the coastal area. She proclaimed, but the fish stench did not go. She became used to it. The story concludes. This kind of story is very common among the inland people, and it sends the message that it is not having a marital affair with the coastal people. If you have any marital affair with coastal people, you also become one of them. You also stench, means you also smell like them. Then you are not clean. This kind of story is very common among inland people. Inland people will usually say this story. And this Gulf migration, as I said earlier, I situate this study in Malappuram. Malappuram is the only place where Muslims are majority, and this district is heavily dependent upon the Gulf migration. And inland people largely make their living by participating in the Gulf migration. This Gulf migration helps to the concealment of labor identity. If you go to Gulf, you will say, I'm working in a company. This helps to conceal your labor identity, and when they come back, they bring a special aroma of Gulf. So this demarcation between coastal and inland is based on this migration also contribute in this demarcation, and the inland people says that it is a kind of a respect or izzat, means if someone is in Gulf and you are using the material or something, it provides a different smell, and this it divide the inland people as a very smelly people, and the coastal people are very smelly, and inland people are very orderly and clean. And this stories and narration plays a critical role in continuously defining and redefining both themselves and others. This inland people will say, hey, when their child is not taking bath, they will say that you smell like a pusla and go and take bath. They are teaching their child the ethics of cleanliness with the advice of don't be like them and be like them and be like us. And this kind of saying is very, very common among the coastal people, among the inland people. And they also says that the coastal girls smell sardine. Sardine is a fish, and it also sends the impression that it is not worth marrying a coastal girl because she is always have a bad smell. So as I said earlier, this rationalization is based on the Islamic concept of purity, knowledge, and morality. This discussion of smell is also closely associated with the Islamic concept of cleanliness. One of the respondents says that they're very committed or bothered about the cleanliness, but at the end, what happens? They still have a fish stench. And another person explains that because they're not washing their clothes as in the Islamic way, that's why they still, even after their job, they have a smell because they do not clean their clothes because they're cleaning in un-Islamic way. This Malayalam word oikollam paral, there is a divide between those who practice this cleaning in running water and those who do not practice in running water. Those who are not practicing in running water, they are considered as not clean. There are basically two types of water in Islam. One is tahur water and another one is mustamil water. The tahur water can purify other thing also, but the mustamil water cannot purify the other thing. And once you clean in the tahur water, it automatically become mustamil water. So the idea is that at the end you should clean in the running water. And this person saying that they are not following this practice of cleaning in the mustamil water. This is very interesting to note that this idea means criteria of cleanliness is based on the Islam and not any notion of any European standard. And this another findings, there are some places named Chapangadi, means the Chapa means shed. This were the places where they used to make their fish dry, but this name Chapangadi also send the impression that there is a very stinking area, and the people who are also from that area also, they are also stereotyped based on this place. So whenever they go to any town, they carefully hide the name of it. They will say nearby places, I come from this area. They carefully hide the name of Chapapadi, or because. And it is very interesting to see the new trends, because this new trends is that if you look at the new names in the coastal area of Malappuram, it will be in English, like Saddam Beach, New Beach, Almond Beach. These are some of the places. And the Malayalam word Kadappuram usually have a very negative connotation, and when we say they are the Kadappuram people, means because that means provides the impression that they are primitive and they are bad. But the beach helps to provide some kind of mobility and challenge the narration of inland people. And of course the fishing community unraveled the embedded the caste logic or in it. And the one of the coastal person said that fishing community never knew they smell fish stench until they meet or interact with an inland person. And they also complain that when the inland people buy the fish, or they always try to, most of the time they try to keep proper denomination when buying fish. Or suppose if you are buying fish for 100 rupees, you will keep exact 100 rupees. They believe that the money in the pocket of fishermen also carry, that also has a fish stench. And finally, this story actually very well negate the narration of Indian people, and in which he says that it says that it is all in the mind of Indian people, that everything is because of their superior caste like minded. And he says a story, means Khalid is a fisherman. He says one of the story, KP, a wealthy and well-known Indian person acquainted with coastal Muslim long back. It was a time Indian people maintained strict distance from coastal people and believed a derogatory image of coastal Muslims, stinking people, inherently violent. Interestingly, KP has become a close companion of many coastal Muslims. He happily invited coastal people for the wedding of his son. He also informed everybody the same. The family members were very anxious and curious to see the coastal Muslims. They were only aware of the imagined coastal Muslim, and finally the wedding day arrived. Everybody was keen to see the coastal people, but they did not distinguish any. Finally, they asked KP where the coastal Muslims were and why they didn't come for wedding. KP replied, they were here, had food and left. Don't distinguish them. The story concludes, but it properly reveals that the story is a kind of self-explanatory. And he said, the Khalid also said me like he was working in abroad and as a fisherman, and he acquainted with so many Indian people, and he says that everybody closed his friendship with there, and nobody, when they're back, nobody contacted him, because here in Kerala he's still a coastal people. They don't want to make a friend with a coastal person. So I end my presentation here. Thank you, JB.
Thank you, Shadab. And yeah, thank you. Now I would like to request Vaishnavi.
Yes, sir. Yeah. I'm sharing my screen.
Yes, Vaishnavi. And Vaishnavi, also, when you share your presentation, please make it full screen. Yeah, thank you. You have done it. Good. Yeah, please start.
Jai Bhim to all. I am Vaishnavi Bagade. I am currently doing my master's in medieval history in JNU. I came from the rural part of Pune district in Maharashtra. So my interest, in this paper, I addressing the social memory of marginalized caste through the Bhim Gits. So my title of this paper is Our Memories, Our History are always in the making, understanding the social memory of marginalized caste through the Bhim Gits. 1 minute, sir, my slides are not changing.
You can use the arrow, left and right arrow.
Okay. Okay. Okay, sir. In this paper, I want to show how the people in marginalized section are connecting their social memory with Baba Sahib Ambedkar and his action and Ambedkarite politics and movements and struggle of our people. And I see the Bhim Gits written by Lokshair Vamanda Kardak and Shantanu Kamble, Shair Vittal Umap and other shairs who wrote about Ambedkarite movements and life of Baba Sahib Ambedkar and about the operation and struggle of people who come from the marginalized community. So in generally I see through this paper we have like some kind of social consciousness about our collective memory through this Bhimgite, and this Bhimgite create the like self dignity, create the notion of consciousness in our mind, like about the self dignity struggle of our people, and life of Baba Saheb and the Ambedkarite politics and other things. So I'm referring the Eric Hobson about his the by virtue of living among the individuals other than themselves, all human beings are conscious of the past. To be part of any human community, it is locate oneself with the relation to one's history. So I see the the people who listen the Bhim Gits and from generation to generation, and like our grandparents and parents are listening Bhim Gites and telling the stories of Baba Saheb and about the struggle of our people. Like I refer the some important events like Manusmriti Dahan, Mahad Satyagraha, Kalaram Mandir Satyagraha, and conversion to Buddha Dharma, Buddha Dhamma, Namantar movement, and life of Baba Saheb. So we generally see this as a collective memory, and people from marginalized section associate themselves with the Ambedkarite thoughts and connect their social memory with these events. So the individual makes his memory social through the Ambedkarite politics and Ambedkarite movements and Ambedkarite's lives and its impact on their life. So I am talking about this, and I focus on the Bhimgits which are written in Marathi language. So for example, I am giving examples of the song written by Kiran Sonawne and sung by Anuruddha Bankar, like माझी आजी म्हणायची ओवी जात्यावर भीम बनला सावली कोटी कोटीच्या माथ्यावर. So we see that the like social memory of marginalized community is passing from one generation to another, and they have a kind of conscious notion in their mind. He is Baba Saheb is their like father, and they have Baba Saheb's action has an impact on their life. Baba Saheb's action led their something important change in their life and their history. So I noted down, I give the reference of these lines. So next point is Bhim Git as a social memory, Bhim Gita as a social memory and history. So there are many historians who work on the collective memory and social memory and history part. And basically it is a kind of literature review and and a work of historians about memory. So Maurice Hobsbawm argues that the memory is shaped by group identities, and people always remember that experience that happened inside the social group. So he claimed that the identities shape the memory, and always recall events that takes place inside the social structure, like in family or community experiences. So we can see that Mahad Satyagraha, marginalized people from marginalized community visited Chaudar Chale on every 20th of March every year to recall the historical event of Mahad Satyagraha, and they are recalling that memory, and it is a big historical event. And these people, some large people are visiting this place, and they have a same notion in their mind. Yes, and they are connecting this historical event emotionally and collectively and socially also. So it is an event for them as it is related to their freedom, their history, the first important step of freedom in their history, like getting about the Mahad Satyagraha, like say, and same like later period, Chris Pickman and James Pentress converted this term into social memory. They have it is the same kind of this concept is has the same meaning, but and they morely talks about how social situation affect the group identities. As a result, concept of social past, we see Bhim Gite having a massive impact on our on our social memory. So like communities have their past that are vastly different from the documented in state archives, and how modern historians view their history. According to social memory theorists, the community myths and stories include some historical realities. Like we see the many historians tracing the social history of ancient India through the Ramayana and Mahabharata. It is a mythology and epic, but in my sense, I see the Bhim Gits are not mythology and epic. They show the reality of they show the reality of past, and they have a originality in it. And like we can connect this Bhim Gits with other written works also, which are like we can connect. I like Baba Saheb Ambedkar writings and speeches, and other government of Maharashtra published books. We can connect the see the similarity between the genealogy and chronology and the explanation of the events. So I don't think that social memory and history are different in the sense of Bhimkit, because there are like in modern time, the Leopold Ranke, who is a positivist tradition historian, who forcefully believe that the history and memory are different. But before the 18th century, uh, many the generally history is written through the memories and stories. But in the enlightenment in the era of enlightenment, and there is uh, uh, a new tradition of writing history in enlightenment era. They are like focusing on more about the objectivity. So for instance, like I in this sense, I like I have see in the Pune district gazetteer, it does not mention the important historical events like the establishment of first girls school at Bhidewada and Pune Pact, which are important for the art history, like history of marginalized community. And they have a like very important event in the history of our community. So like but this government document doesn't mention the these points, but Bhim Gite does. We have some Bhim Gites on this, like Fule Savitribaईंनी शाळा मुलींना दाविली. And like here we can see that even we don't know the singer and writer of this, like these songs. This is bad, very bad condition about this, about our history also. So like there are, and about ignorance of government on the Bhidewada. So people are writing about it, like Bhidewada Bolla. So it is Bhidewada Bolla is a song about the like ignorance by government and current condition of Bhidewada. And government doesn't give importance to this main architecture, which has a very great impact on our history. Like we can see that the Phule Bhidewada can be, it is a first step of our freedom and freedom of our girls. So later is Maurice Holbrook, who says that memory not only captures but also reconstruct the past. And he also asked the question, can memory become the source of the history? So and I another historian is Dr. Andrew. He thinks the link between the memory and history, in which memory reflects what truly happened and history reflects the memory. It's far too simple. He claims that the distinguishing between two is becoming more difficult as social groups influence the both memories and histories. So yes, we can see, we can refer this argument to, like, I give one example. Like there is a one book called written by there is a one book, the last Hindu empire, last Hindu king, about Prithviraj. We can see in that book how the memory is changing according to time, and how historical events are representing according to time, and changing the narration of about the last Hindu king. And that's why he is arguing that some social group can influence the both memories and history. But in the sense of Bhim Gits, I argue that yes, Bhim Gits, people doesn't distort any kind of history in the Bhim Gits. They reflect the original like chronology in it, and explain the things in very good manner, like using good metaphors, and like explaining the all events in proper manner. Like we say the when we see the song of Namantar movement written by the Vilas Ghogre, Jaltoy Marathwada, we see the references of the people who died in that movement, Pochiram Kamble and other peoples. And when we see, like, we can't say that history and social memory are different in the sense of Bhim Gits. So they are, so I think, so I see the Bhim Gitas are a rich oral source of history to trace our history. So for example, I'm giving some example like Uddharali Koti Kule. It is written by Vamanda Kardak, tracing the impact of Baba Sahib on our life and history. Second is Jaltoy Marathwada by Vilas Ghogre, tracing the Namantar movement. Jivala Jivacha Dan by Vamanda Kardak, tracing the history of Baba Sahib education and his struggle. जरी संकटाची काळ रात्र होती by Vamanda Kardak, relating our struggle with Baba Sahib and forming community memory. So
Vaishnavi, sorry to interrupt you. You're doing fantastically good, but just we have to see the time as well.
okay,
Can you please summarize in next 1 minute maximum?
Yes, sir. So like all social memories contain the seeds of prior practices and validate our social order. I see the way these Bhim Gits are validating our social order and creating the sense of our history in it. So I observed by correlating the Bhim Gits with other written books, I also talk about this, that there is also about the conclusion, the Bhim Gits are a social memory and it transmits history from one generation to another. They have a chronology, explanation, individual can relate their history and memory through these songs. Bhim Gite are good source of history. Some songs can also be primary sources because they are first handwritten accounts of people who were part of these historical events or present at the time. Also, I had some another kind of analysis. We see the tradition of Warkari movement about the Kirtanas and Kabir's Dohe, but it is a kind of anti-caste anti-caste tradition. But it is within the Hindu religion. But I see Bhim Gits as a very solid counter culture to the dominant culture. So I like Bhim Gite has a massive impact on our life, especially the section of marginalized community. Thank you. Jai Bhim to all. And these are my references.
Thank you, Vaishnavi. And see, we have the limitation of the time, but that doesn't mean your idea has the limitation. Your idea is fantastic, and I think definitely your mentors and your own teachers will help you to, to further improve it and get it in public, so that people can read more about it. Yeah, thank you for your presentation, Vaishnavi.
Thank you. Jai Bhim to all.
I would like to invite now Priti Chandra.
Hello.
Yes, Priti.
Yeah. Hello, Jai Bhim, everyone.
Jai Bhim, Priti. If you have a presentation, please.
Yeah, I have. I'm
yeah.
sharing it.
Yes.
Is it visible?
Not yet.
Wait.
It must be up on your computer. Yeah, now it's coming up. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Please make it full screen and then you can go ahead. There is an option at the bottom, just next to the plus sign at the right bottom. There is a plus minus sign, percentage. Yeah, just next to that, there is option. Yes. Make it full screen and at the bottom right, where the 64% is written, just before that, there is option.
Where it is?
Bottom right, bottom of your screen. Yeah, bottom of your presentation.
Wait.
Where you have the option of plus and minus, 64%.
64%.
Yes.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Hello, everyone. I am Priti Chandra. I'm
I think
doing PhD
still
in Department of...
one second. Still, we are not able to see it full screen.
Yeah. I think it is paused.
I think you have to stop the sharing and then you have to make full screen, then reshare. Yeah, then it will work.
Okay.
Stop the sharing once. Yeah.
For share. Then.
These are the limitations of the Zoom. So yeah.
Yeah. I'm very new to it. I'm presenting on first time on Zoom. That is right.
No issues. So it is like first you have to make it full screen and then share the screen. Then it will work.
Then sharing. Now, is it fine?
Okay, it's still coming same way, but it's okay. You can continue, I guess.
Yeah. So, I'm doing PhD on understanding reproductive health services, a Dalit feminist perspective. So in this research, I'm actually like evaluating public health services on reproductive health services, basically. So in this, I have chosen the Dalit feminist standpoint theory, where why Dalit, especially why Dalit feminist theory, because there are many like Dalit feminist perspective catches the idea that feminist perspective is for the upper caste Savarna women. Thus, it is imperative to develop a perspective called Dalit feminist, which could give importance to the Dalit women issues at it needed. The reason why this particular perspective emerged, that mainstream feminist perspective was unable to understand the complexities of the Dalit women as a whole, since the Dalit women issues are different from the so-called upper caste women. How it differs as the social positioning in the society is different. That is why there is a my broader research questions are like to understand the socio-economic position of these women in the region and their subjective experiences of discrimination faced by them in the like hospital or in availing reproductive health services. And third is do these women exercise agency in availing reproductive health services? I have used like qualitative research method uh, design, and my study is located in Uttar Pradesh, Barabanki district. I have like interviewed total 35 women, in which 20 Dalit women and 15 upper caste women, because I have not made equal, because I have not able to get these women due to like caste identity and my unmarried identity, because at that time I was unmarried. Uh, in the socio-economic section, I found that the whole village has a different setting for people living. Like Dalit people live in this exterior part of the exterior, or say interior part of the village, apart from upper caste people, and their even education is like very much low from the upper caste, and there are like segregation. And now coming to the, like, I'm doing fast. I found that hospital premises is the most women where families complained about the promotion of privatization of healthcare services, such as buying medicine or other related stuff from private medical stores instead of giving them free of cost from the hospital, since it is meant to be free, but they are not like getting free. And there were like unavailability of gynecologists at the public hospitals, which create issues in getting health services. So there was only ANMs and not ANMs or nursing staffs who were able to handle the delivery in the hospital. And there were also issue of like infrastructure. And the last is Dalit women have a different kind of agency compared to upper caste women. Dalit women household status, since Dalit women household status are nuclear, so they are more free to exercise their agency from the very first day of marriage, and they are not into the fringe of kinship relation to like upper caste women who are who make decisions in under the influence of their kinship and family. And what one thing was like the son preference was there, which was son preference was there in also Dalit families, which was output of uh, like which was like upper caste. Sorry, sir. Yeah. Sir, actually, I'm done.
Yes. What happened? You're doing okay.
No, I'm not
Hello?
okay actually. Hello, I'm done, sir.
Okay. Yeah, you can stop. Yeah, no issues. Okay. We know that, when we are the first time scholars, we have our own anxieties speaking and presenting.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
never mind, that it is completely okay. And you are not the first. We all were there in your stage. Okay, so don't worry at all. Okay. And we really appreciate that you're making this effort, and making effort is the only way to control this anxiety. And please do not worry that it is only with you. No, we all have this fear, and gradually we will try to control it. But yes, thank you so much for your presentation, Preeti.
Thank
And
you,
I
sir.
will now like to invite Kundan. Yes.
Yes, sir. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, Kundan. Yes, Kundan. Kundan, you can go to the view and then go to the full screen. There is options. Yeah, view, go to and then you go to the full screen. Yeah.
Is it okay, sir?
For me, still it is not okay. Yeah, you can dismiss this one. Yes, you can go ahead. No issues. Yeah, please. Kundan, please go ahead. Yes, start.
Yeah, okay. So, Jabim to all. My name is Kundan Kamble. I did my bachelor's in English literature from Central University of Karnataka, and currently I'm trying to pursue my master's overseas. So I'm preparing for that. Hopefully, maybe next year or this year, I will go abroad for my studies. So the title of my paper is a comparative study of Black Panthers and Dalit Panthers movement. From the Am I
Thank
audible,
you.
sir?
Yes, yeah, you're audible. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. So the title of my paper is a comparative study of Black Panthers and Dalit Panthers movement. Uh, as you look at the title of my paper, so I'm going to do. I did a study, uh, comparative study between the Dalit Panthers and the Black Panthers movement. In these two movements, there are similarities and there are differences, and there are many more things to learn from the each movement. For this study, I have chosen a speech by Bobby Seals from Black Panther movement and an article article by Raja Dhale from the Black Panther movement. Uh, the comparison between these two movements, like comparing these two separate geo-socio political context, haven't been extensively done. Uh, so both movements, they suffered a lot by the oppressors, and like there were the many difficulties for the both movements to emerge and and do the assertion against the misdeeds by the rulers. So while doing research, I came across Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar saying, like, he wrote to the scholar. He was a great writer, Dr. W.B. Du Bois. So the Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar wrote to him a letter that concerning that the Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar is concerning and the student of and the student of uh, Negro problems. So he stated that the position of Negroes in the United States in America and the position of untouchables in India are the similar. So that was the major reasons to do this study and bring some inputs in front of you. Also, I wanted to do research and I wanted to find out that about the literature of assertions, that how this Black literature is existing and how the Dalit literature is existing. Also, I wanted to do research for that, like how these activists were they were approaching to the oppressors, how they were writing about the oppressors and all. In Indian context, we know that there is a caste system, there is a Varna system, and this Varna system holds all the powers, and which didn't let the Dalit people to have the power and to have the freedom. So in Indian context, we have this Varna system, which is controlling all the people and all the communities. Similarly, in America, there is a racial discrimination. There is a racial structure where people are being divided on the basis of color. So the black people and the white people. So the white people dominated over the black people. Uh, in 1960s and 70s, there was the assertion against police brutalities and whatever the misdeeds were happening with the black people. So there was a civil rights movements and all. And after the civil rights movements, just Black Panthers emerge, and like the Bobby Seale was founder, chairman, and VP Newton was a co-founder of the Black Panther movement. So basically the purpose of this movement was, to fight against the racial discrimination and have the decent life in on white land, because these white people were not letting black people to have all the rights, like right for vote and to have decent life, to have their own house, and also to get education and all. Similarly, that in 1971, there was a strong assertion against atrocities, caste atrocities in India. And there emerged a similar kind of movement, similar kind of party in India called the Dalit Panthers. So their main motive was to fight against the caste discrimination and the caste atrocities, because at that time the caste atrocities was at peak. So basically, the Black Panther movement, when it emerged, it got famous after the article which was published by Raja Dhale called Kala Swatantra Divas, Black Independence Day. After that, there were many new, uh, you know, new. There were many people who were joining the Black Panther Party, and it was getting strong and strong, and it was spreading all over the Maharashtra. So, but due to some political issues and the political touch to the party, and a little bit clashes between the Panthers, that it got dissolved by mistakenly, you can say. So for this study, I have chosen, like I did qualitative research for this, and I did the content analysis between these two texts. So the first thing which I came across is the tone of the speech and the article. The what article is saying indirectly and the what speech is saying indirectly, and like in what context the both are saying, both are speaking. So if you look at the speech of Bobby Seals, he's talking about the police brutalities on the black people in the United States, and Raja Dhale is talking about the caste discrimination in India. So when we look at the words, when Raja Dhale writes, it's like kind of aggressive. If you are a Marathi speaker, if you come from the Maharashtra, and if you read the article of Raja Dhale, it will like boil your blood. It's the kind of words he uses, and the kind of tone he uses is really asserting, really showing that the how young scholar or the how young Dalit activists think about the current scenario, and how he feels about the current scenario. Then there is a rebellious, exactly, there is a rebellious approach in his article, not in his article, in also the Bobby Seals speech. But Bobby Seals, when Bobby Seals talk, he talk little bit different. He talk little like slightly different from Raja Dhale, because Raja Dhale, he addresses the oppressors and the audience directly. But when it comes to Bobby Seals, he kind of like he takes the another approach. He like takes the metaphorical approach, that he tries to explain all the things by telling the story. So the language which is being used in both in the speech and in article is the ordinary language. Raja Dhale uses the ordinary Marathi, which is the countryside Marathi, which is easy to understand for all people, all the Marathi speakers, not only from cities or who are studied in like who are well educated and all, but for the people who live in countryside, and if someone reads for them, so they will really understand what Raja Dhale is saying. And the same for the Bobby Seals, like the English he uses, it's like day-to-day English, which is being spoken in United States. So the when we look at the words, there are uh, if an Orthodox Marathi speaker comes and reads Raja Dhale's article, he might find that the Raja Dhale is talking in inappropriate way, or he is using the inappropriate words, because there are one to two incidents which Raja Dhale is explaining in his article, and that is really crucial. That if you read that article and those incidents, you will find that that the Raja Dhale, he with the words he uses are really good, because what words you will have instead of that when it comes to you, or if that incident happens to you. So for the Orthodox or the ruler, who are like, for the people who are ruling over the Dalits, or the who are oppressing a particular community in India, Dalit community, they might feel that the Raja Dhale is using the inappropriate language or the inappropriate words in his article. So Raja Dhale's writing style, it is freestyle, and it is really inspiring young people, young Dalits writers, and young Dalit activists like us, for coming in front of the people and coming into the mainstream society and write about our assertions, about our stories, and about our journeys, uh, about our journeys. So as I said that in the last slide, that Bobby Seals uses metaphorical language to describe his assertion, and to describe his thoughts and the plans for the Black peoples. So first, Bobby Seals, he starts his speech by telling a story where a thirsty man is trying to get a clean water, but uh, because of there is a spring, and there is a hog, there is a pig in the spring, in the clean water. There are pigs who are like polluting the water, and that's the main reason where the thirsty man is not getting the clean water to drink. And then he explains that the thirsty man is the Black people, and the hog, they are the white people, who are like not letting the Black people to have decent life, and the decent education, and the right which are rightfully theirs. So these are my outcomes from like analyzing both the texts, one is from the Black literature and one is from the literature. Thank you.
Thank you, Kundan. Yes. Now I would like to request Uddhav Shinde to start presentation. Uddhav, can you hear me?
So yeah.
No.
I'm just sharing my screen. Just give me a sec.
Yeah. No, you have to cancel it. There is a arrow button next to it. Yeah. Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah. So first of all, I would like to thank Vaishnavi and Kundan. Vaishnavi has covered the points about the counterculture, and Kundan has talked about the assertion for the existence of the list, right? So they both have given me some kind of background, and thanks both of them. because my half of the work they have done it. So I will be talking about the documentary, and that documentary is from a village called Nirwadi Budruk, and it's in Selu Tehsil of Parbhani district. And the documentary which I have made, that's in three part. And the first part is about the history of making of Vihar, how the Vihar has been made. And part second is about the woman participation, right? The woman participation to make a counter culture against Hinduism. And third part will be about transforming that Vihar into a knowledge center, opening a library, right? So I will be talking about now the history of the Vihar, and that the Vihar name is Bharat Japan Maitri Buddha Vihar. So this is all about the story. So I would be very comfortable speaking in Hindi to explaining the story first, right? So I will be talking in Hindi onwards, now onwards, right? So ये बिहार बनने की जो बात है, वो चालू होती है एक इंसान की इच्छा से, राइट? जो गोविंद खंदारे नाम का एक इंसान था, 1972 में हमारे गांव में रहता था वो, और उनकी उनकी ऐसी इच्छा थी कि मेरे लैंड, मेरी जो जमीन है उसके ऊपर एक विहार बनना चाहिए, राइट? तो उन्होंने ऐसी इच्छा लोगों के सामने पेश की, और 1983 में हमारे गांव में एक भंती जी आए थे। तो वो भंती जी ने एक प्रवचन दिया था, तो लोगों को वो प्रवचन इतना अच्छा लगा, तो वो इंस्पायर हो गए बुद्ध के थॉट से। तब तक कुछ बुद्ध या किसी भी चीज के बारे में मेरे गांव के लोगों को पता नहीं था। जैसे उनको वो प्रवचन उन्होंने सुना, वो 1984 में हुआ था प्रवचन, एंड उससे ही ये 1983 और 1984 में लोग बुद्ध के विचार से प्रवृत्त हो गए, बाबा साहब उनको पता चल गए। तो फिर उन्होंने एक सत्यशील गायन पार्टी बना ली गांव में, और वो गायन पार्टी से दूसरे गांव में जाते थे। अपने गांव में भी जयंती मनाते थे अम्बेडकर की। तो होता यूँ था कि बाजू वाले जो गांव रहते थे, हमारे निर्वाड़ी गांव के आजू बाजू में गांव जो भी है, वहाँ पे जयंती मनाई नहीं दी जाती थी। वहाँ पे बहुत लोग क्या बोलते हैं उनको, स्टॉप कर देते थे। वो क्या मिरोनुक बोलते हैं हम मराठी में उसको, जो रैली होती है बाबा साहब अम्बेडकर की जयंती के दिन, वो नहीं जाने देते थे गांव से। तो फिर ये सत्यशील गायन पार्टी उन गाँवों में अपना भजन बोलने के लिए रात में जाते थे, और अगले दिन जब बाबा साहब की जो रैली चलती थी, वो एक प्रकार का आकर्षण ही है, क्योंकि लोग उनको मिरोनुक या रैली नहीं निकालने देते थे। लेकिन वो फिर ये सत्यशील गायन पार्टी वाले जो लोग हैं, जो मेरे गांव के लोग हैं, 4-5 लोगों की टीम थी, वो हर एक गांव में जाके फिर वो रैली निकालते थे, राइट? एंड फिर ये ऐसा होते होते फिर 1986 में न्यू बुद्धिस्ट लोगों ने हमारे गांव के 1986 में एक ब्लू फ्लैग लगा दिया था ऐसे जगह पे जहाँ पे पहले मरी माई का मंदिर हुआ करता था। अभी मरी माई का मंदिर यानी कि पुराने जमाने में महार लोग इस देवी की पूजा करते थे। तो उसी जगह पर फिर उन्होंने ये ब्लू फ्लैग लगाया 1986 में। तो फिर ये जो ब्लू फ्लैग लगाया था, तो फिर हमारे गांव में मराठा कम्युनिटी भी है। तो फिर वो मराठा कम्युनिटी ने रात में ही उस फ्लैग को तोड़ फाड़ के मंदिर में लगा दिया। हमारे गांव में एक बड़ा सा मंदिर है, पुराना महादेव का मंदिर है। फिर वो फ्लैग वहाँ पे लगा दिया उन्होंने, और फिर झगड़े हो गए फिर दोनों कम्युनिटी के बीच, न्यू बुद्धिस्ट और मराठा कम्युनिटी के बीच 1986 में। तो फिर 6 साल के लिए पुलिस हमारे गाँव में स्टे करके रुकी थी, क्योंकि ज़्यादा कुछ झगड़े ना हो या कुछ वायलेंस ना हो। तो फिर फिर 1986 में इतने झगड़े हो गए थे कि लोग डर गए, न्यू बुद्धिस्ट लोग डर गए कि वो बोले चलो अभी ये खून खराबा हो जाएगा, तो फिर इस चीज़ को स्टॉप कर देते हैं। फिर बाद में क्या हुआ, तो बाद में 2010 में एक जापान से हमारे गाँव में भंती जी आ गए। तो ऐसे ही प्रचार प्रसार के लिए आए थे, लेकिन उनको कुछ लैंग्वेज वगैरह अपनी देख के कुछ पता नहीं थी। लेकिन फिर उन्होंने फिर रिक्वेस्ट किया हमारे लोगों से कि यहाँ पे मुझे कुछ तो भी रुकने के लिए जगह बनाओ। तो फिर गांव वालों ने, न्यू बुद्धिस्ट लोगों ने एक धम्मकुटी उनके लिए रहने के लिए बना दी। तो फिर ये ये जो धम्मकुटी बनाने का जो प्लान था, तो वो प्लान भी मराठा कम्युनिटी ने इसके लिए अपोज किया, क्योंकि वो ऐसा बोल रहे थे कि जो भी जगह आप जो गोविंद खंडारे ने डोनेट की है, वो तो छोटी सी जगह है, आप आगे लगा रहे हो, आप आगे बना रहे हो ये धम्मकुटी। तो वो ऐसे जगह पे बना रहे थे जो कि हम कॉमन प्लेस बोलते हैं ना, गायरान जमीन बोलते हैं, कॉमन प्लेस बोलते हैं, उस जगह पे उन्होंने धम्मकुटी बना दी। तो फिर से झगड़ा हो गया। तो फिर वो ये सेकंड टाइम हो गया था कि ये झगड़ा होने के कारण फिर से 6 महीने के लिए पुलिस गांव में रुक गई थी, झगड़ा ज्यादा ना हो। ये झगड़ा क्यों हो रहा था ज्यादा, क्योंकि फिर से पंचशील ध्वज जो था, ये भंते जी ने वहां पे लगाया था धम्मकुटी के आगे। तो वो रात में ही फिर वो जो झंडा था, पंचशील ध्वज था, वो ओपन डेफिकेटेड प्लेस में फेंक दिया गया था। तो लोग और ही वायलेंट हो गए, न्यू बुद्धिस्ट लोग, क्योंकि वो बहुत हार्ट टचिंग था उनके लिए, क्योंकि वो बहुत दुखी हो गए थे वो उस बात से। तो फिर झगड़े बहुत बढ़ गए थे। तो आजू बाजू के लोग भी क्योंकि रात में ऐसा होता था कि रात में मराठा कम्युनिटी के लोग इनके ऊपर हमले करने की सोच रहे थे। तो तभी आजू बाजू के गांव के लोग आते थे, इन लोगों को सपोर्ट करते थे। रात में गाड़ी में बैठ के उनके लोग आके इनको सपोर्ट करते थे। बेसिकली इतना सारा झगड़ा वहां पे हो गया था। लेकिन 2010 में फिर ये अभी जो बुद्ध विहार के जो अध्यक्ष है, जो मेरे दादाजी है, उन्होंने फिर FIR इन जो 19 लोग थे, जो लोग अपोज कर रहे थे धम्मकुटी बिल्डअप करने के लिए, और जो झंडा फाड़ के फेंक दिया था, वो 19 लोग जो थे मराठा कम्युनिटी के, जो झगड़े करने पे उतर आए थे, तो उनको फिर FIR दर्ज करके उनके उनके ऊपर केस कर दिया फिर न्यू बुद्धिस्ट लोगों ने। तो फिर ये होने अभी अट्रॉसिटी कर दिया उन लोगों के ऊपर, मतलब केस फाइल कर दिया, FIR कर दिया। तो फिर मराठा कम्युनिटी ने फिर न्यू बुद्धिस्ट लोगों का हुक्का पानी बंद कर दिया। मतलब ट्रैवलिंग उनके गाड़ी में बैठ के ट्रैवलिंग नहीं कर सकते थे। उन्होंने पानी बंद कर दिया था गांव का, और इवन दुकान भी बंद कर दिए थे। दुकान में से कुछ आपको नहीं मिलेगा। फिर चक्की बोलते हैं हम, जो आटा पीसने जाते हैं, वो भी बंद कर दिया था। तो ओवरऑल सब बंद कर दिया था 1 साल के लिए, राइट। तो फिर आगे जो ये बंद कर दिया था सारे चीजें, तो फिर इसके लिए फिर ये जो लोग आपको दिख रहे हैं, यही लोग फिर हमारे गांव के भजन मंडली की टीम है, जिन्होंने जाके फिर जिला मतलब को कलेक्टर के ऑफिस के सामने फिर धरना कर दिया। तो फिर वो ये जो प्रोटेस्ट वो लोग कर रहे थे, तो उनको 2010 से लेके 2015 तक ये प्रोटेस्ट करना पड़ा। मतलब वो जो भी पानी बंद कर दिया था, जो भी चीजें उन्होंने बंद कर दी थी, उन सारी चीजों के लिए उनको प्रोटेस्ट करना पड़ा। और साथ साथ में ही क्या हो गया था, साथ साथ में ही उनके लोग जो थे, बाकी के लोग जो थे, ये इतने लोग तो यहाँ पे प्रोटेस्ट कर रहे थे, लेकिन गांव के दूसरे लीडर लोग भी जो थे, उन्होंने फिर आजू बाजू के अपने रिलेटिव से, फ्रेंड से पैसे जमाना चालू कर दिए। मतलब वो फंड्स जमाना चालू कर दिए। किस लिए? क्योंकि विहार भी बांधना था साथ साथ में। तो दोनों चीजें साथ चल रही थी, प्रोटेस्ट भी कर रहे थे लोग कुछ, और कुछ लोग विहार बांधने में भी जुड़ गए थे। तो बेसिकली फिर इनका जो फाइट था, जो वो प्रोटेस्ट कर रहे थे, तो इनका फाइट बेसिकली वो कॉमन प्लेस के लिए था, जो हम गवर्नमेंट की जगह बोलते हैं या गायरन प्लेस बोलते हैं। तो फिर वो कॉमन जगह के लिए झगड़ा चल रहा था, क्योंकि गोविंद खंडारे ने जो डोनेट की थी लैंड, उसके आगे वाला जो स्पेस है, वो पूरा मरीमाई के आजू बाजू वाला जो भी प्लेस है, वो गवर्नमेंट का, वो किसी का नहीं है ना, गायरन जमीन है। तो वही उस जगह के लिए भी फिर वो ये लोग प्रोटेस्ट कर रहे थे। तो फिर जब विहार बन गया, सब विहार तो 2018 में कंप्लीट हो गया, लेकिन अभी विहार में बुद्ध मूर्ति नहीं थी। अभी ये जोड़ जाड़ के उन्होंने कैसा भी जुगाड़ करके विहार बना दिया था, लेकिन अभी मूर्ति खरीदने के लिए उनके पास पैसे नहीं थे। तो इसके लिए क्या करें, तो फिर उन्होंने एक नासिक के एक बिजनेसमैन है और समता सैनिक दल, उन्होंने एक प्रोग्राम ऑर्गेनाइज किया था जिंतूर में। जिंतूर एक तहसील का नाम है परभनी जिले के। वहाँ पे 10 दिन के लिए श्रामणेर शिविर रख दिया। हमारे गांव से भी 4 लोग पार्टिसिपेट किए थे, भंते जी बने थे, और उन्होंने चिवर ले लिया था 10 दिन के लिए। और फिर ऐसे 10 गांव के लोग वहाँ पे जमा हो गए थे 10 दिन के लिए, और उन्होंने श्रामणेर शिविर अटेंड किया। और फिर उन 10 गाँवों को फिर वो समता सैनिक दल एंड मोहन बाबा डगले जो बिजनेसमैन है नासिक के, उन्होंने फिर वो मूर्ति दे दी, वो लेफ्ट साइड में आपको दिखते होंगे, वो 10 मूर्ति 10 गांवों को दे दी। तो हर ये जो 10 मूर्ति है, तो वो मूर्ति ऐसे ऐसे विहारों को डोनेट की है जो बहुत, वो विहार जो है बहुत क्या बोलते हैं, उनकी उनकी स्टोरीज, विहार बनने की स्टोरीज जो बहुत क्या बोलते हैं उनको, उन्होंने बहुत मेहनत से की है, प्रोटेस्ट किए, असर्शन किए, बहुत सारी चीजें किए, इसकी वजह से वो विहार बन सके हैं। तो फिर उन लोगों को इन्होंने मूर्तियां दान दे दी। तो हमारे गांव में जो जब मूर्ति लेके आए थे, तो फिर हमारे गांव में महिला मंडल की टीम भी है। तो अभी जो वैष्णवी ने जो पॉइंट प्रेजेंट किए थे, जो कि ओवी गाने का जो सीन है, वो जो महिलाएं ओवी गाती है, जो ओरल हिस्ट्री की वो बात कर रही थी। तो ओरल हिस्ट्री उनके, अभी ये महिलाओं के पास कैसे आई ओरल हिस्ट्री, राइट? बाबा साहब के विचार, बुद्ध के विचार, फुले के विचार कैसे आए? तो उन ओरल हिस्ट्री के थ्रू आए हैं। लेकिन कैसे? तो वो वैष्णवी ने सारा बताया था कि शाहिर लोग जो है, भीमराव कर्डक से लेके आदर्श शिंदे तक जो पूरे टीम है, तो फिर ये जो शाहिर लोग हैं उनसे ही इंस्पायर होके गांव में भजन मंडली की टीम बनी है, राइट? तो भजन मंडली गांव गांव जाके भजन मनते थे, बोलते थे, राइट? तो भजन गाते थे, और फिर वो गाने फिर ये महिलाओं ने सुने, राइट? महिलाओं को कहाँ गाने सुनने मिलेंगे? इन्हीं के थ्रू मिल सकते हैं, जो गायन पार्टीज है, भजन पार्टीज है। तो फिर उनसे सुन सुन के, या अपने मम्मी से, बड़े लोगों से, या दादी से सुन सुन के इन्होंने वो गाने वो क्या बोलते हैं, वो दिमाग में बिठाकर वो बोलते रह गए, है ना? तो हमारे गांव में जब वो बुद्ध मूर्ति 20 फरवरी 2022 में अभी आई है, तो उस दिन फिर उन्होंने फिर वो ग्राइंड मिल पे, स्टोन पे, फिर वो राइस को ग्राइंड कर दिया और राइस का खीर बनाया, राइट? तो बेसिकली खीर जो है, जो वो बहुत पवित्र मानी जाती है बुद्धिस्ट में। तो फिर उन्होंने हर महीने वो खीर बनाने का प्रोग्राम अभी उन्होंने फिक्स कर दिया है, इसी दिन से, मतलब 20 फरवरी 2020 से जो वेलकमिंग सेरेमनी का उन्होंने प्रोग्राम बनाया था, उसी दिन से उन्होंने ठान लिया है कि हर महीने हम खीर बनाएंगे, वो भी ग्राइंड मिल पे। और फिर वो उसके ऊपर वो भी हो, पालना हो, और जो भी फोक सॉन्ग हम बोलते हैं ना, वो फिर वो वहाँ पे गाने लगते हैं। तो फिर अभी ये चीज, बेसिकली मेरा टॉपिक यही है, जो और ये टॉपिक मेरे दिमाग में आ गया है अडरना हकार में के जो कल्चरल की बात वो करते हैं, उससे आई है, क्योंकि हम फोक सॉन्ग के ऊपर ज्यादा ध्यान नहीं देते। हमारे अगर मोबाइल की हम लिस्ट देखेंगे तो उस पे पूरे हॉलीवुड या बॉलीवुड के सॉन्ग हमें मिलेंगे, लेकिन इन लोगों के सॉन्ग हमारे पास नहीं होते, कि जो वही होती है, जो पालना होता है, और उसमें इतना बड़ा मीनिंग छुपा रहता है। 14 15 कड़वे के जो सॉन्ग्स रहते हैं, ये महिलाओं ने अपने दिमाग में डाले हुए हैं। तो वो ऐसे ही नहीं डाले हुए, उसका बहुत सारा मीनिंग है ना? और जब हम उनको सुनेंगे तो क्रोनोलॉजिकली हमें सब पता चलेगा कि बाबा साहब का मूवमेंट क्या है, बुद्धा ने क्या क्या किया है, फुले ने क्या क्या किया है। तो ये सारी चीजें हमें उनके गाने के थ्रू पता चाहिए। और इंटरेस्टिंग बात यह है कि ये सभी महिलाएं ज्यादातर अडानी होती है, पढ़े लिखे नहीं होती है, राइट? तो फिर इन लोगों ने कैसे काउंटर कल्चर पैदा किया है हिंदुइज्म के अगेंस्ट, राइट? तो ये चीज बहुत ज्यादा इंटरेस्टिंग है। और हमारे गांव में जब विहार बनने का जब काम चल रहा था और जब झगड़े हो रहे थे, तो यही महिलाएं साथ में आके रात में ये गाने गाती थी, राइट? तो गाने ये इंटरेस्टिंग के लिए या किसी को इंटरटेनमेंट करने के लिए नहीं है, ये उनका असर्शन है, ये उनके थॉट्स है, राइट? तो ये महिलाओं ने जो गाने ओवी या पालना जो भी आपने दिमाग में डाले हुए हैं, बेसिकली वो हम सभी को इंटरटेनमेंट करने के लिए नहीं है, वो उनका असर्शन है खुद का। तो ये सारी चीजें। और फिर अब मैं थोड़ा सा मेरे गांव के बारे में थोड़ा सा स्ट्रक्चर बताना चाहता हूँ, बस 1 मिनट में। तो हमारे गांव,
उद्धव 1 सेकंड, या आपका काम बहुत शानदार है, सच में बहुत कुछ नया जानने के लिए मिल रहा है। मैं थोड़ा सा लेकिन समराइज करते हुए आपको 1-2 मिनट में इसको
ओके,
ठीक है, थैंक यू।
सो लास्ट में अभी मैं इसको समराइज करने की कोशिश करूंगा कि मैं अभी मेरे गांव का थोड़ा स्ट्रक्चर बताऊंगा कि जब तक मेरे गांव के लोग महार थे, तब तक हिंदू लोग को कोई भी प्रॉब्लम नहीं था, राइट? जैसे ही वो न्यू बुद्धिस्ट बन गए, राइट, तब फिर उनके ऊपर डिस्क्रिमिनेशन चालू हो गया, राइट? तो फिर क्या हो गया? तो फिर उनको एक लैंड दे दिया गया सेपरेट, क्योंकि वो पहले तो साथ में रहते थे, राइट? लेकिन फिर बाद में उनको एक लैंड दे दिया, 14 एकड़ का लैंड दे दिया, जो कि साइट में दे दिया गया था। फिर वहाँ पे उनका रिसेटलमेंट हो गया, राइट। तो फिर मजे की बात यह है कि जो हिंदू टेम्पल्स है वही लैंड के ऊपर है, जो गायरन जमीन हम बोलते हैं या गवर्नमेंट की जमीन हम बोलते हैं, उस लैंड के ऊपर फिर हिंदू टेम्पल्स भी उन्होंने बनाए थे। लेकिन जब विहार बनने की बात आ गई थी, जो थोड़ा बहुत स्पेस वो मांग रहे थे, क्योंकि विहार जो बन रहा था वो गोविंद खंडारे के लैंड पे बन रहा था, वो लैंड वो तो प्राइवेट है, वो तो गवर्नमेंट की नहीं है। लेकिन उसके आगे वाला जो स्पेस है, थोड़ा बहुत स्पेस चाहिए था झंडा पंचशील ध्वज उभारने के लिए, तो वो भी मिलने के लिए तकलीफ हो रही थी, क्योंकि वो तो स्पेस गायरन जमीन है या गवर्नमेंट का है, उसके ऊपर तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं होना चाहिए था। लेकिन इसी के लिए तो ये 2 बार झगड़े हो गए। 1986 में भी 6 महीने पुलिस गांव में रही, 2010 में भी रही, राइट। तो फिर ये सारी चीज बेसिकली वो कॉमन्स के, जब हम बोलते हैं ना कि एक कॉमन प्लेस के ऊपर या पब्लिक स्पेस के ऊपर जो लोगों का असर्शन है, और जो हम एग्जिस्टेंस की बात कर रहे थे कुंदन भाई, तो फिर वो जो असर्शन है वो पब्लिक स्पेस पे अपना असर्शन दिखाने के लिए ये विहार बनाया गया है, ऐसा मुझे सीधा सीधा कहना है इसमें। और फिर आप देख सकते हैं इस फोटोज में कि लेफ्ट साइड में जो आपको दिख रहा है वो पुराना मंदिर है हमारी माई का, और राइट साइड उसके बाजू में ही विहार बन गया है। तो फिर आप ये बहुत ही मतलब पास पास में ही सारी दोनों भी चीजें हैं। आज जो लेफ्ट साइड का जो वो पेड़ के आजू बाजू का जो स्पेस है वो अभी भी कॉमन प्लेस है या गायरन जमीन है, लेकिन वहां तक पहुंच नहीं है। आपको वो झंडे के लेफ्ट साइड में जाना, आप नहीं कुछ कर सकते, राइट साइड में आप सब कुछ कर सकते हो अभी। तो इतना सारा ये सारी चीजें है। और या सो दैट वाज ऑल अबाउट माय डॉक्यूमेंट्री। एंड नेक्स्ट मैं प्लान कर रहा हूँ इन फ्यूचर की जो 9 अभी ये 10 गांव थे जो जिंतूर प्रोग्राम में पार्टिसिपेट किए थे, तो उसमें से हमारा गांव भी था। और जो 9 गांव की स्टोरी है वो भी सेम ऐसे ही कुछ ना कुछ है। तो फिर आगे चल के फिर मैं उन 9 गांवों का भी डॉक्यूमेंट करूंगा। और जो और ये चीज़ मुझे मैं इंस्पायर हूँ ग्रामसी के विचारों से, क्योंकि उन्होंने जो ऑर्गेनिक लीडर्स की बात की है ना, ट्रेडिशनल लीडर और ऑर्गेनिक लीडर्स। तो जो ऑर्गेनिक लीडर्स है गांव गांव में, जिन्होंने ये असट करके ये पब्लिक स्पेस के ऊपर विहार बनाए हैं या स्टैच्यूज बनाए हैं अम्बेडकर जी के, फूले के, सभी के, तो फिर उनके वो जो स्टोरी है वो मैं कैप्चर करना चाहता हूँ। और वो जो 9 गांव हैं उनकी स्टोरीज में आगे चल के डॉक्यूमेंट करने का प्लान कर रहा हूँ। जस्ट थैंक यू।
थैंक यू उद्धव। एंड और आपका काम बहुत शानदार लग रहा है। और आपने डॉक्यूमेंट्री का जिक्र किया, तो डॉक्यूमेंट्री का लिंक आप जरूर यूट्यूब चैनल के कमेंट में छोड़ सकते हैं, क्योंकि हम लोग फिर बाद में डेफिनेटली देखना चाहेंगे। वेरी हेल्पफुल। ठीक है, थैंक यू। और I think we had a fantastic session starting from Shadab, who talked about how smell, when people, there has been occupation put on the people, and then how a smell related to that occupation became a thing for the separation. Then we heard from Vaishnavi how she thought ki Bhim Geet, can be how Bhim Geet are so inspirational, and which helps them to separate from mythological songs and then the reality, and her work is fantastic. Then Preeti, she discussed about the healthcare and the Dalit community in UP. Then Kundan discussed, how he is working about to connect the Black Lives Matters and the Dalit movement, and he is working on that. That is fantastic. And then Uddhav, he has shown just now ki how difficult it is when you want to peacefully, or with complete following the system, you want to practice your religious fundamental rights, and how it becomes difficult for you. I was really touched when you were showing ki if that one Bihar, one community has to face this much stigma, troubles, problems, so we can think about कि जब बाकी सब लोगों ने बनाया होगा तो उन लोगों की अपनी अपनी एक स्टोरी रही होगी, उन सबको कितनी मुश्किलें झेलनी पड़ी होंगी उसके लिए, definitely. So yes, I think so. If we have some questions quickly, and if someone can read from the YouTube, because I'm not able to see the YouTube, अगर कुछ questions हैं तो we can quickly take Ravikant bhai, some questions.
I can't see any questions on the YouTube, and we are a little behind schedule also.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
So I think if you don't have any thoughts, we can kind of close this. But I would request all the, like maybe Preeti can also turn her camera on if possible. So that way, at least we should take a memorable picture, and it is a great Shadab also. Yes, because this is really a remarkable panel, and so glad that could hear all of you speak together. Just 1 second. Huh? Give me 1 second.
You will also like to keep your video on?
What? I didn't get you.
You also want to keep your video on, if you don't mind. Yeah.
No, I am happy to be on video always, but like this panel was about our scholars, and very happy to hear. And some the way we kind of put this together was also because some of the work speaks to each other. Like it's not very direct, but it kind of builds onto each other. So it's really lovely to see it all come together. And my big request to all our scholars is, please don't stop here. The whole point of this exercise was that, your work gets introduced to us and a larger audience. And ये शुरुआत है. Please हमको इसको आगे लेके जाना है. We all have to stay connected. And as academics who do this, I'm very excited by personally very excited by all the lovely work that you all have done. So thank you for sharing your work with all of us. And we'll close the session. And thank you so much, everybody, for this particular session.
Thank you.
All right. So for our audiences, we just have our final session coming up, which will be a dialogue where I'll be speaking to Professor Bodhi. We will be talking about the epistemic challenges of doing research. So we'll take a quick 5-minute break, and we'll come back actually we are behind time, so I think we'll come back at 4:40. So just hold on for a couple of minutes, and then we can start. All right. Lovely seeing you. Just give us.